Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher McGee, and I'm the founder of Moore Society Incorporated. The Moore Society Incorporated is a nonprofit corporation dedicated to the cultural and ethnic education of Black Americans. This institution is the first of its kind. Although the Black community has a lot of organizations that deal with one aspect of culture or the other, there's never been one dedicated specifically to the education of our people in regards to our history and heritage. The Moore Society is created to be the missing link. When it comes to education in our community, there are many institutions of socialization, from private to public schools, teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, to Boy Scouts of America and Young Marines teaching paramilitary disciplines. We have institutions that are vocational and trade, and then we have churches, synagogues, and mosques, all dedicated to religious training. The Moore Society is the missing link. It provides cultural and ethnic education that focuses on way of life. That is how boys are taught to be men, how girls are taught to be women, how men and women are taught to come together to establish intimate relationships, and how family, extended family, and community work to facilitate that fellowship. It's about understanding the needs of our people and establishing an agenda directly tied to the unique and specific needs of Black Americans. Now, the Moore Society is the mother corporation. Underneath its umbrella are the Moore Society Research and Development. This is a corporation that we created for the sole purpose of doing the exploring Negro life from Africa to the Middle East to Asia to throughout the Western Hemisphere. It's about exploring traditions and customs and understanding the origin. There are many African ethnic groups, and there are many countries throughout the Western Hemisphere where disenfranchised Black people brought as slaves have found themselves residing, and ultimately their children and their children's children have grown up. From Argentina to Canada, you'll find Negroes of African descent. All of them over the centuries have established their own unique way of living, thinking, different languages. The research and development serves the purpose of gathering that information and studying it from a scientific perspective. Then there's the Moore Society Public Health, Social Aid, and Pleasure Organization. This organization is like a miniature version of the World Health Organization, but it targets the Moore Society and the Black community. There's the United Tribes of Ancient Africa, which is an organization for men dedicated to the life of men, the life journey, and all of the challenges that men face, or the many hats that we will wear as men, taking on a wide variety of responsibilities, from caring for ourselves, providing for our families, to how we serve in our community. Then there's the Moore Society's The African Village. The African Village is a program similar to that, but it's strictly for women, dedicated to the life journey of woman and the many challenges that she will face in her advancement and growth. Now, the Foundation for Foster Children and Special Needs Youth. This is an organization designed to target those with special needs, be they physical limitations or learning psychological disabilities, foster kids who may not even know when they were born or have a knowledge of their immediate families. You have faced a unique challenge when trying to explore their history. And this organization is designed to help bridge that gap, help them gather some knowledge of who they are, and help introduce them to resources that can help them better understand um, what it takes to build family and expand and grow as they mature. Oftentimes, growing up without parents, it's difficult for people to know how to be parents. The Moore Society being a cultural organization, that's our center, our base. The union of a man and woman, their fellowship, the children, the family, the extended family, the clan, the tribe, the community they create. Then there's the African American Reservation, Business Union, and Social Organization of Professional People. This is an institution that will be targeting how local businesses and organizations connect with, adapt to, and understand the Moore Society and its community. We want our businesses to, as we learn and grow, to better understand ourselves and give definition to our way of life. We want the community and the professionals to understand and fall in line with the unique needs of our community. Now, the African American Heritage Organization, System of African Fraternities and Sororities for HBCUs, this is a special organization. You've heard of Greek and non-Greek institutions at different universities, and I'm sure you've heard all of the negative stories, from the hazing and the abuse to the sometimes downright perverse things that go on. These institutions are not governed on the basis of Negro culture, Negro way of life, our history and heritage, but it's foreign. But to create a more healthy, more responsible organization for college programs and academic, the Moore Society has a solution. An organization built more, not just talking of brotherhood, but built on with an understanding of brotherhood. Now, there's the Temple of African Tradition and the African American School of Thought. This is an institute. This is a church, basically, but it's not a traditional church. It's because the Moore Society is a cultural organization. As a religious institution, we focus primarily on way of life, the way the prophets lived, the way Jesus Christ lived, the way Muhammad lived, the way different religions have influenced and impacted the black community and influenced Negro life. It's one of the first churches of its kind because it's basically an eclectic study of religions and their influence on black Americans. The Temple of Africa, the African American School of Thought. This is a very unique program. The African American School of Thought is basically a pool of thinkers. It's a think tank. Imagine a round table with teams of educated and professional black Americans, each group committed to a specific thinker. Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, W.B. Du Bois, Nelson Mandela, Stephen Biko. You're looking at activists and intelligent and educated people who have had a huge influence on our advancement at different stages in Black American history. So our focus there would be analyzing the past, present, and potential future for the black community and looking at the pros and cons of each of these activists and their philosophy. Then there's the African and Black American Renaissance Organization. This organization is very special to me. I'm a big fan of the Scarborough Festival and Renaissance festivals, European Renaissance festivals, Greco-Roman festivals, to see people coming together and recreating the world as it was back then, giving people an interactive experience in terms of history. Yes, well, that's what the African and Black American Renaissance Organization is about. It's about recreating the world as it was for people of different ethnic groups, be they Africans of Ethiopia or South Africa, be they black people in the 1920s versus how we lived in the 1950s. The idea is to create an environment that will facilitate this interactive experience so that we as black people, young and old, can go and see how our people dance, sing, poetry, reconnect with that era in history, to see how our music was influenced by the world around us and how our art influenced the world around us. Another beautiful program. Then the Sacred Circle of African American Elders. I created this. This was inspired by the Jews who survived the Holocaust and their children. The time and energy that Jews are spending now to try to preserve the stories of these people, those who survived, giving them a living history of what they experienced, how they experienced it, how they made it through, recognizing those heroes against the Nazis and all the challenges that came with that. The Sacred Circle of African American Elders is our way of connecting with high speed, elderly black Americans and learning their world, their life, their personal experiences. We need to get first-hand accounts of things that have taken place over the last 50 to 100 years. We have people 100 years old or more, just a wealth of knowledge. We have to document this and chronicle the lives of these people. And I'm not just talking about those that led the civil rights movement. I mean people who spent years working at the post office, who could tell you things about the city in which they grew up, how streets changed, how schools changed, different black business owners who've come and gone over the years. Somebody who can give us a first-hand account of what it was like to live during segregated times. We have so much history in America and beyond, and I am so afraid that we're going to lose time. These people, these baby boomers, these elders are going to pass away and take all of that wealth of knowledge with them, and we have to find a way to preserve and chronicle their history. And last but not least is the Moore Society's The Moore's Family. Now, the Moore's Family is a special program. This was inspired by the royal families of England. I don't know what you know about England, Great Britain, and everything, but there's a royal family there, and they have a palace, and they dress, and they have a history there. And these people, every day, walk, talk, and live in a way that represents the pinnacle of British life. They represent the ultimate in traditions and custom and etiquette. And if we are, now since the Moore Society's goal is to study Negro social studies for the sole purpose of developing an authentic African American culture, as we learn and grow, it's going to be essential that we can get a group of people and almost like a theater performance, let them interact as we look on in terms of theater, films, plays, and basically be a living, breathing, walking example of how Black Americans should interact with each other on a daily basis. Developing and refining our social skills, getting a better understanding of who and what we are is essential to our not just survival as a people in America, but our advancement as a race and the culture. So the Moore Society, this is my baby, and I'm looking forward to sharing it. This video is just the beginning. I will have more videos explaining, going into greater detail about the different corporations within the Moore Society family, as well as other things. More particularly, keep your eye open for the making of a Moore woman, the making of a Moore man, the making of a Moore marital relation, the making of a Moore family, the making of a Moore community. These are going to be videos that I set up to kind of give greater depth and insight into what it is the Moore Society is about, and the direction that this institution will be traveling on a daily basis. I want you to get a first-hand look at the things we'll be studying and sharing and exploring. So please keep your eyes open. I got some nice things coming, beautiful things, and I'm going to be looking forward to your feedback. Thank you.